Tucson, an Arizona Lotus Corp radio station. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live from Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Tuesday, June 17th. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We're going to have a huge one today. Lots of things to get to, including Mari joining us here as in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll have Justin Spears from ESPN Radio popping in, giving us a rundown of the NBA Finals, which just got past Game 5, moving on to Game 6 with Oklahoma City in the lead of that series. We'll have Rocco from Rocco's Little Chicago Pizza in studio, back from his globe-trotting vacation. Of course, to give away $100 in gift certificates to his fine establishment. And in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Chef Anthony Drumgool, our Iron Chef champion, in talking about the Iron Chef finale that's going to be happening soon. And we're going to have Runtski from Brickbox and his business partner in studio talking about all the great things that Brickbox is doing for the local music community and how it's fastly becoming one of the premier venues to check out live music at right there downtown. So excited, lots of people in.
Fully loaded.
Yeah, exactly. We're just kind of getting our bearings, if you will, because we're still kind of shaking off the vacation rust, going back-to-back days after having a messed up sleep schedule. Not easy. How was the drive into work today, Rico?
God awful.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, I think because of the summer solstice, the sun coming up way earlier now.
Is the solstice today?
No,
I know it's coming
not.
up here soon.
I just like to sound smart.
I think it's June 14th every year, if I recall, because I know we've done shows like concerts on the solstice. I'll ask it real quick. But okay, so
there's something about that wee hour of the morning drive, though, where it's just dark and people are still in that morning fog where it's you're kind of being kind to each other and oh, morning. But then when that sun comes up, it's mid-afternoon Tucson chaos.
Yeah, so coming from the east side all the way here.
Yep.
The solstice is coming up, actually. It's June 21st, which is going to be this Saturday. The longest day of the year. More sunshine, more heat, more excuses to drink outside. That's what AI just told me real quick. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead and drink outside when it's 120 degrees. Of course, we have a heat wave going on.
AI's trying to kill us again.
I know. All week long, we have this heat wave. 111 degrees is going to be the high today. And it's going to continue to go that. But like I said, it's beautiful to be in Tucson because at least it cools down to 79 degrees right now overnight. And it makes it a little more comfortable to sleep outside, which is okay. Now, of course, there's a lot of displaced houseless people throughout the community, but it does look like the city of Tucson is looking to ban, people from camping in washes going into this summer and the foreseeable future. So what we'll see is there's going to be they got little campgrounds and homeless encampments.
Those things look nicer than my place sometimes.
Sometimes they do. Honestly, growing up as a kid, setting up forts in the desert, that's this was always a fun thing to do growing up in Arizona. And I know a lot of you, if you grew up in the desert, probably did the same thing. You found yourself a tree or just a little plot of land and you set up your own little fort and you and all your buddies would go out there, maybe smoke your first cigarette, check out some nudie magazines, have a good old grand time.
Good old desert porn.
Yeah, some people, they held on to that and said, I want to do that for the rest of my life. And it's unfortunate, but it is dangerous, of course, to set up in washes in case we do get a monsoon because those things turn into rivers and then flush it all out. But, there are several different safety aspects that the city has been considering, and now they are trying to adamantly push to ban all camping. But, of course, the question gets raised, all right, well, then where do they go from there? You know what I mean? So it's you could displace it from one place. Where is point B? Right. Where can they set up? And until we have an answer, which is to one of the most complex local issues that every community faces, then it's going to continue to be the problem. And no matter what, you're just basically putting, I guess, a Band-Aid on a severed leg,
Oh, just Tucson things.
Well, like I said, it's every community,
Yeah.
every major community. You go up to Phoenix and you go downtown, they got full blown Skid Rows growing up there.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. What they have all set up, and for a while, the city was just looking the other way and be like, that's fine. This whole street can be all tents and people just doing a free exchange market and everything else.
Right. I think the budget to bus them all to California kind of ran out, so we're kind of trying to figure it out.
No, I know. So that's one of the top local news stories. There was another news piece that caught my attention and a lot of people's attention online here locally, because you've heard of the Big Beautiful Bill, right there, Rico.
The Big Beautiful Bill.
Big Beautiful Bill. Now, of course, there are opponents and proponents for the Big Beautiful Bill. That's the president's, budget proposal. One of the opponents is Elon Musk. He's adamant against it. It kind of created the fallout between the president and the Twitter, Tesla owner. But in the Big Beautiful Bill, it actually directly affects Tucson in a very unique way. Like our national parks, like Mount Lemmon and Sabino Canyon. Did you see this, Rico?
No, fulfill me.
Okay, so I will fulfill you.
Fulfill me.
In this Big Beautiful Bill, they basically have land deals set up in there, stating that you could sell off certain national park land and reserved land that was previously it was federal land and not for commercial use. In this Big Beautiful Bill, if it passes, then there's going to be certain areas throughout the entire nation of national parks and federal land that will then be up for sale commercially. This is problematic because of the two places here in Tucson that everyone that lives here knows and loves, and that's Mount Lemmon and that's Sabino Canyon. Sabino Canyon, obviously a beautiful hike. It's
It could use a Starbucks in there, though.
No, see, but that's the thing. It's not even Starbucks. You're talking what would end up happening, and the argument is it would turn into a place for mega mansions and BlackRock to go in and buy up everything, and then there's beachfront property. The quote that I got from a conservation advocate for the Tucson-based Center of Biological Diversity, Lakin Jordal, said it's a disgraceful giveaway of public lands. Our favorite areas are our public lands to hunt and camp would be sold to billionaires to build more mega mansions. So they're about in total 2.2 million to 3.3 million acres of public lands in 11 Western states, including Arizona, that would be sold if this legislation passed. And various press accounts have reported this. And the only state that has no land sales that would occur at all is Montana, whose rep there, Ryan Zinke, who's a former Interior Secretary, strongly opposed such legislation in the House. So since he was such a thorn in their side, they're like, fine. We'll make this bill and we'll exclude Montana, okay? If you just shut up about it. And it's like,
so you all need to watch Yellowstone.
Right.
They're like, no, we're not watching. Just watch it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes me wish whoever was representing this state could have been a hemorrhoid too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to protect Sabino Canyon. But it is unfortunate.
That's a very unifying sort of endeavor, though, as far as this from
See?
both aisles. I see a lot of conservatives voicing their opinions on this as well. I think we can all agree that public land or national parks should not be touched.
You're seeing a lot with this. This is a very, unifying bill in a way, but not in a positive way.
Sure.
But you're seeing a lot of opposition on both sides being like, whoa.
Hold on.
Yeah. So, but that has a direct local impact if it does pass. And then, right now, BlackRock has shown their cards. They have shown that they have zero empathy for human period, the human condition. In fact, actually, BlackRock is currently in a lawsuit against United Healthcare. Why is that, Rico?
Why?
Because ever since the Luigi incident, as we'll call it, when the CEO of United Healthcare was assassinated on the streets of New York because of their unfair treatment of their customers, United Healthcare took a different response. They started being more giving to their customers, actually taking care of them. Which is bad for business.
It is.
And that has affected the bottom line. And BlackRock is a major stockholder in United Healthcare. So they are suing United Healthcare for affecting their bottom line. That should not be a thing. but that is a thing, and that is the world that we live in. So, and so any situation where BlackRock could buy up all the land, which they would be first in line. It was either that or a foreign entity coming in, buying up Sabino Canyon, and then saying, guess what, guys, you can't hike here no more because this is Paul McCartney's third home property. So I don't know.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So that's something to keep an eye on. Of course, that was reported by Arizona Daily Star and numerous local sources. So, that's our local news.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And again, it's something unifying because you don't want to take away something that we all cherish and covet and love. I think everyone who's able-bodied has, and even non-able-bodied, has been to Sabino Canyon and appreciated the beauty that is unique to our region, and that's ours, and we don't want to take it away anytime soon.
That's right.
All right. Well, we have a great show, and it's not going to be all grandstanding. We got Morning More coming up after 3 days grace, kicking things off with the Chili Peppers here on Rock 102.1. We have tickets to give away for Primus, and I'll give you 2 different keywords so you can go fly yourself to Italy. All that and more in store. Keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show. Let's go.
The security guard. I had to sit outside of the kiln.
All right, we are live on the podcast broadcast. But you can continue, Chef.
I love that the chef's talking about this.
Yeah.
Ovens,
It's like ovens. I'm just talking ovens and stuff and cooking. That's what I do. Slicing up fish and tuna. Joining us for the first time on the podcast broadcast, we got the co-owners from Brickbox right there on Broadway. It's cool because all of our guests this morning, they pretty much all operate within 2 blocks of each other. So we got Nixon and Runtski.
Runty's good. I like Runty.
Runty's
good. It's a new personal level for me. It's my pet name.
I forgot the ski. I didn't, even though we were talking to Rocco earlier, he just came back from Poland. I imagine everyone has a ski at the end. But Runtski and Nixon from Brickbox joining us, of course, was Iron Chef champion Anthony Drumgool from Oban. And we're going to be talking up Brickbox because Mari and I were just there for the show before vacation. Like, it was actually kicking off my vacation. And what everything that Brickbox is doing is worth celebrating and talking about. And I wanted, just have an opportunity just to showcase it a little bit and talk a little bit about some of your plans and your growth of how you guys basically went from employees at like a Thunder Brewing, what was it called?
Thunder Canyon Brewery.
Thunder Canyon Brewing to owners and building up this business and creating like a personality of your own in this iconic building with a fantastic location. So that's what we're doing here on the podcast today. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I just did introductions on our YouTube stream, but I'll reintroduce the people who are joining us. We got the lovely Mari, as always. Chef Anthony Drumgool, who's our Iron Chef champion of all of the old Pueblo. And we got Nixon and Runtski from Brickbox joining us as well. And like I said, Oban and Brickbox are literally like 50 feet away from each other. So you guys bump into each other all the time. Yeah. And do you ever, Chef Anthony, you're a fan of like Japanese cuisine, being a sushi chef and stuff. So you ever go and get yourself some like katsu? Yeah.
No, I was there last week. I saw it.
Yeah.
No, Katsu House is doing really good things. I've loved everything that's going on so far.
Yeah. So, okay, let me break it down because I guess when we were at Iron Chef, the Meet the Chefs event, right, where we found out who your opponent was going to be, Ray Sonoran was there, and Ray Sonoran is operating business out of Brickbox as well. There's actually several businesses. You're like, what's the term for we're like
a small business incubator.
Yes.
That's kind of where our vision is if you can't get a brick and mortar, you're not really at that spot yet. That's kind of what we're already paying the electric bill. How about you come in and let's figure this out and try to get you on your feet? That's kind of a big model of our business because we got started that way. So we were given opportunity with ideas and we're able to grow that. So we've kind of taken that and ran with that as far as what we do with other businesses. So we have a couple different businesses that operate out of there. Holy Fracascia's there, Cuts and Slabs. Ray's operates out of there. And now Katsu House is taking over our kitchen. So, we try to create a space for the creative, mindset. And we do that both within music, art, and we see culinary world and beverage making as a
100%.
craft. So
100%. And that's why we love talking to chefs, and we have them as part of the show as well, because they think from the same left side of the brain, right? That's a creative mindset. Like when Chef Anthony is putting together dishes and stuff, it's pretty much like writing a song, right? And you're always kind of combining different flavors and trying to create. And so an incubator is exactly what that business model is, and music venue as well. And I will say the most artist-friendly music venue that I've ever come across. And that was another thing that I thought was 100% fantastic and needed in this community, was a place where people can go and put on a quality show on a great stage and sound system, and not basically be taken advantage of financially. Because you were an artist, and you are an artist, right?
Yeah, I did music for, here in Tucson with a group called Javin Scientists for 20 plus years. We still do stuff. But, when I was getting started, it was very hard to get opportunities downtown and spaces to play. And there was kind of a hole in that area for like local people. You don't really have the big money to shell out for a sound guy and security. And a lot of these venues, God bless them, I think they're great places. But if you're small and you're only going to bring 20 people to your show, you still should have an opportunity to play. And that's kind of what we're there for. And we don't charge any of our artists to play. All of our booking's done online. And it explains everything. If you do a ticketed show, you get to keep 100% of tickets.
Yeah.
So my hand's not in your pocket.
Yeah, that's massive.
We provide sound for free.
Yeah, that's massive as well.
And we really do bend over backwards to make sure you can present the kind of show you want to present. So that's a big thing to us. We had wrestling last week where they cleared out the floor, put a wrestling ring in there with IHW. We have Film Tucson today. They're doing a mixer in the afternoon, so people will be there. But we just constantly have new kinds of shows all the time. We've had tattoo pop-ups with Labor Temple. We've had, just a little bit of everything. But I think I don't know how long we'll be in this space for. I'm a firm believer that anything can disappear, at any point in time. But as long as we're there, we're going to have fun and do as much as we can to do that.
Yeah. Now, when you and Nixon, again, you were coworkers, you were given the opportunity to essentially take over the lease. Is that pretty much what it was? You had to put in, how much did you have to invest in to get to this point?
Thunder Canyon Brewery. So I started at Thunder Canyon Brewery. I was a touring musician, not making any money.
Yeah.
This was 17 years ago.
Right.
I had a girlfriend that worked at Thunder Canyon, and I came home from tour, and she was like, "Hey, you should come do this." So I bust tables, and I made six.
You worked with Mari, by the way.
Yeah,
she was there in that initial class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the new ones, when the new one opened up. So there was like this starting from the ground up type thing, but I never thought I'd be doing it for very long.
Right.
And then flash forward, just as time went on, it worked. It put money in my pocket, bought a house working there. Steve Tracy helped me to, create opportunity for myself. He's the owner of Thunder Canyon. And then at 27 years, he was ready to retire. Nixon had come on board, and he learned how to brew, and it was kind of just a missing piece. So luckily we provided the opportunity to do it. So we just moved forward and basically started our own business within it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's how we ended up.
Yeah. And as of right now, are you locked into a lease and stuff? And, it's not like month to month. You still got, you see time on there. Yeah. What I love about your venue setup for a musician and show aspect. If you're a performing artist, right? If you had 20 people or you have 200 people, it still looks like a good crowd in front of that stage, just the way that it's set up. It's a great stage and a great sound. And the sound now that Brickbox has is courtesy of Rialto,
yes,
who donated.
Mm-hmm.
What did they all donate to make your room sound so good?
So their side fills for their monitor station. So every artist has played at Rialto over the last 25 years has played on those.
Yeah.
Kenny G was the last artist on. I like to bring that up.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I made food for him.
Right?
Yeah, you made food for Kenny G.
Yeah. But they would come over and see our Frankenstein sound system all the time. And we made it work. It was stuff that we had since we were kids.
Right.
And then one day, the great team over there literally was like, "Hey, we're getting a new one. How about we drop this off over here?" And this is a system that is way bigger than we need.
Yes.
But it speaks back to what the community sees needs to be done, and sees that we're trying to fill some of that void along with a lot of other people.
Oh yeah.
So we're grateful that people kind of see what our idea is. But yeah, the sound system there we've leveled up.
Yeah,
immensely.
a big time. And it hit, you know, you can feel the bass with the subs. Those subs are massive. Sounds really good in that room where you got tall ceilings. You have wood beams on those ceilings too. Yeah, so like Thunder Canyon inadvertently built itself to be like a music venue without even knowing it, because it kind of made for like an ideal music venue building just with the high ceilings and wood beams to absorb the reverb and everything else. So yeah, you lucked in on that. And it's so great now because you put another premier live music venue within walking distance of 2 others, right? So if you want live music on any given night, especially on the weekend in downtown Tucson, you go Hotel Congress, like Club Congress, Rialto, Brickbox, all that one alleyway if they let you squeeze by, right? But, you know, or you walk right around Obon because Obon's right there. You know, stop by, say,
we'll go in
hi.
there,
Yeah, Chef Anthony. And then, and hit up there. So it's great to see that kind of like live music triangle, right? You got right there. But the support that Rialto Theater is given to you also screams community. And to build that up, and it's great to see, you know, basically each other kind of help each other up out and lift everyone up. So we're going to talk more about what's happening at Brickbox. And of course, we got Iron Chef coming up here soon. So I'm still trying to pick Chef Anthony's brain to see if he's going to give us any like hints of what he plans on doing this year. And all that coming up on the podcast broadcast. So music on the way from System of a Down in Lincoln Park, or you could join us youtube.com/beefvegan. Clear. All right. So that was on the FM side. Now we're back. And feel free to talk, Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there, dude.
This is my fault, to be honest with you.
No, it's good. It's good. Well, because we're going to talk about the brewing aspect here.
Right. That's where I'll take over.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, because I got this 6-pack, which is awesome, which I'll be showing off here on the stream. Let me just balance out my commercials here just so I don't have...
Your tuna tostada was so good.
Hell yeah.
Talk about that tuna tostada there, Mari. Yeah, don't just keep it to yourself.
No, I was like, when I saw him, I was like, I gotta tell him that. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Iron Chef.
It's funny because I didn't realize we weren't supposed to show up with food.
Everybody
was at Meet the Chef this year,
Oh.
like as the winner.
You weren't
you
supposed to show up
weren't
with food?
supposed to.
No,
Well,
I
no.
could have just showed up and walked around.
No, you absolutely
no.
show up with food.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, and like Chef Ken previously, he would always show up with food too, and and I think it was imperative, especially this year, because last year, they kind of undersold what the participants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the lines were long, and then you didn't get like full, right? This year for Meet the Chef, like they got a good amount of participants, and you walked around, the lines weren't too long, and then by the end of it, you were stuffed. You're ate a bunch of shit, drank a bunch of shit. That's what those Meet the Chef events need to be like. They need to be Costco Super Sunday on steroids. Yeah.
That's the food shows, man. If you ever go to like the Shamrock food shows, we go there just to.
Yes,
it's amazing.
They have samples.
Oh yeah,
there's an entire. There's a meat tent.
Yeah,
they have like cooked meat though. Like is it like?
It's all like.
It's all
Did you like
restaurants.
get Shamrock like suppliers? And
There
stuff?
was. There's a gravy aisle that's literally like
What?
one guy, and he has 7 different gravies for you to try.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And they do like specialized ones where it's like the Italian, like all their.
Oh my gosh! But I need a restaurant to go to this though. Like I can't just go.
We got restaurants.
Yeah.
All right, I'm your +1 next time.
Yeah,
we
no, we
got-
got enough friends. Like they all go. Chef Gary, all of them. That everyone that's in the industry. Yeah. They look forward to it each and every year, and it's crazy. Yeah, because Shamrock, provides so much wholesale. So yeah, they literally have everything, right?
Yeah.
And they give you stuff to take home if you're there, like towards the end.
Wow.
Stuff on the table. They're like,
You're living off that stuff for like a month. Yeah.
We went last time, and was
Bust up there last
a
time.
Cambro that you were
Steve drove
like?
us up there.
Yeah, but we were walking around, and this Nixon sees a Cambro, and he's like, "I'm gonna get that," and it was like a new model or some shit.
Yeah.
And of course, we get it. You got it, didn't you?
Yeah, I ended up getting it.
Yeah.
Wait, what's a Cambro?
Yeah. What is it?
Big
like a
plastic
plastic
safe container.
Wait,
Tell me you work
It's
in the
just like a
restaurant without
Tupperware?
telling me.
I know.
yeah, that's a kitchen Tupperware.
I was like Tupperware.
Okay.
It's something a kitchen guy would be excited about.
Yeah.
Or brewery
It's
or
like
distillery.
Pampered Chef, but
Yeah.
not.
I'm gonna store so much
How do we
shit.
put
It's gonna
this
be amazing.
in layman's terms.
It's just a clean one. You haven't seen a clean one in
A shiny
15
one, not
years.
scratched
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
see through.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about the 6-pack, which is this like a variety 6-pack that you also sell?
No, we just made that for you.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, they got the root beer.
Oh, I love that root beer. My kids love that root beer.
I got 2 root beers. You want one? It's cold. Okay.
Oh yeah, everything's straight from there.
Yeah.
Crack them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then of course got the Ray Sonoran. Here, I'll showcase this, and this is pretty much a sample of everything that you have. Well, not everything that you have, everything that you can that you're
Everything that we
there.
can.
Yeah, because so Ray Sonoran, of course, which is fantastic. It's tea. It's a liquor tea is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's
right?
a vodka-based hard tea with like organic agave, natural flavor in there, done by Rachel, who we are business partners officially. We work side by side. We're side by side.
Nice. Congratulations on that too. I mean, because Ray is starting to pop up in all the different types of locations.
Yeah, she's on distribution. So she's up in Phoenix. She also handles a bunch of the distribution down here in Tucson. She's just kind of going all over the place.
Yeah, it's amazing too because, well, you know, like, that's part of the trend. I mean, craft beer is always kind of like in style. Now it's these spirit cocktails, right? Yeah. Vodka-based cocktails that are huge.
Seltzers, vodka-based, or even not drinking at all. That's also a big trend.
Not drinking.
Yes.
Yeah, post-COVID, that's a big trend.
Yeah, with these kids.
Yeah, with these kids.
Because they don't want to have sex anymore. You know what I mean? And they're just like,
they want hangovers. I don't drink, so I don't want hangovers.
Yeah, no,
I love the root
They don't want
beer.
hangovers, sleepovers, nothing. You know? I know. That's what it is. It's the whole thing, you know. But I say bring it back, you know, like bring back the drinking too in moderation and the sex in excess. So those are 2 things I think societies need. I mean, you see all these countries, right? You see Japan begging their citizens to have sex. And
we're trying real hard to correct that downtown. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Provide an environment where you can either drink or not drink or do whatever you want to do.
Right. Yeah. Well, you should have more, specials and stuff then, just like the 2-for-1 bangers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, double the root beer. Take
But yes, you're right. I mean, so when you're creating, since you're following all these different trends, and part of it's cannabis culture, kind of growing up. Like people are like, we're gonna, we're gonna be stoned. That will be our buzz, and then we like tasty beverages when we're stoned. So like the root beer comes into play when it comes into stuff like that, right? And non-alcoholic stuff.
Non-alcoholic stuff, yeah. So we do the root beer, we do a hop water, and then an agave-based energy drink. But also, we're not just a brewery; we're also a distillery. So to get away from the beer drinkers that don't exist anymore, we do have these cocktail lines that are all on draft as well. And
that's great.
Huge hits at the brewery. So,
oh yeah, dude. Ooh. Okay, so being a distillery, you're distilling what? Vodka? Are you doing mezcal?
We're not doing vodka. We do rum, and we're working on. We're barrel aging a whiskey.
Got a baby whiskey.
Okay, barrel aging whiskey. Yeah, because that's
7-month-old.
Yes. Well, we've been to Del Bach doing tours of Del Bach. You've been to Whiskey Del Bach thing, and their operation is fascinating, and of course, learning about the aging process and the barrels, and obviously the flavor profiles from each barrel. It's fascinating science. Now this is distilling and making whiskey. This is a new kind of field for you, right?
The whiskey for sure. Actually, I'm real green when it comes to brewing and distilling. I'm only in my 3rd, working on 4th year after Steve teaching me how to brew and distill. But it's something that I've been able to luckily for us, we're selling enough of it to where I get to do it enough. And in those 3 years, I've been able to learn a lot and really kind of nail down my process and my view for making beer in the city. And now this whiskey is my new first venture into whiskey. The rum I've done plenty with Thunder Canyon and now it's Brickbox, but whiskey's brand new.
Does rum seem easy to you when you got into it? You're like, oh, I could do rum pretty quick. Well, are you doing spiced rum too?
We do a spiced rum. Okay. Yeah, it all is based off of one base silver rum that we make. It's Caribbean style rum. We don't use molasses, just pure natural cane sugar.
Okay.
And then we go from there and we'll flavor spiced rum. We'll top up, lots of cinnamon, nutmeg, a bunch of other spices. A lot of warm baking spices.
You don't add any Sonoran spice? Did you ever experiment to be like, let's create a Sonoran spice rum, like chiltepine, right?
I walked into a banging spice rum recipe and have chosen to not mess with it.
Okay, yeah.
It's award-winning.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
It has an award, so we're just going to leave it alone and let it rip. Now, the whiskey is something that I kind of took over. Jim and I always wanted to do a whiskey, and I saw an opportunity to do an all Arizona grain whiskey. So, and that goes with our beers as well. So all our whiskey and all our beer will this point forward be 100% Arizona grain. So
Nice.
we got a whiskey that's 80% barley grown here in Arizona, and the other is Sonoran white wheat.
Nice.
So, but yeah, and that's a big move for us, and that's something that we want to lean into because there's really no other brewery or distillery with the ability to say absolutely 100% of our products are made with grain that's grown in this state, malted in this state, brewed, and then fed to cows in this state, and then back in the ground in this state.
Yeah. Peed back into the ground in this state. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, circle of life. That I think that is a fascinating selling point too for distribution and everything else, right? So and that's the key. So and having Ray as a partner and seeing her success, right? That just kind of opens up doors and avenues, right?
That's been a wonderful person to walk shoulder to shoulder with through this town. A, she's got great accounts already. B, she's kind of a cult of personality. Her product has got a cult following.
Yeah.
And it's an easy deal for us to work together and have multiple products, having beers, having RTDs, and having sodas like root beer and eventually the hop water and the energy drink. And this is like a complete profile, a complete portfolio rather, to come at someone and be able to do a mass buy at a great place like the casino.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Not just a single bar, not just a single restaurant, but then you're talking liquor stores, grocery stores, all that. So it's neat to have someone with a good amount of success and be able to walk through life with them and be doing the same thing and just help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just kind of like the entire business model and, been your success strategy from day one is collaboration, right? And working with all the different businesses and the same thing with artists and all that and the community. I'm all for it. I'm a believer. Is there energy drink in this 6-pack by chance?
No,
because I would main vein that right now. You know what I mean? I was like, give me an agave energy drink. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're talking here with Nixon and Runty or Jim, aka Runty from Brickbox. Right? Runtski. Damn.
No, I like Runty.
No, dude. No, you know
We're
what?
going out to eat after this, but I like Runty.
This is why. No, I know it's Runtski for a fact. I scribbled down in my haste as I'm juggling a bunch of stuff. I forgot to put the, I just spelt it Runty because I'm an idiot. First off,
I'm changing my Instagram handle right now, just so we're clear.
I just want to say, at least I'm going to give myself props for my peripheral vision just to be able, because I'm not even looking at it, right? I'm just like my eyes kind of catching it. And it's telling me to say that, but
did you call Rocco Rocky?
I butchered Rocco. I mean, I called him Rico many times. I mean, this is now you're part of the family, dude.
Catching the case.
Yeah. Part of my brand is, human error. Just to show that this ain't AI. There's no I involved at all. All right, so we're talking about this. The 6-pack that they gave us is basically a sample pack of what they can there, in collaboration with Ray Sonoran Spirit Tea, which many of you have had. Whether out and about at grocery stores or the Meet the Chefs event. They also have, of course, pale ale, all different types of like IPAs and drafts or craft beers that is constantly evolving on the menu there at Brickbox. And they also brew their own root beer, which is sweet and delicious, but it's not sarsaparilla. What's the difference?
What's that?
What's the difference between root beer and sarsaparilla?
Root beer and sarsaparilla is a common ingredient inside a root beer. And so you've got root beer that's sarsaparilla heavy, or you've got root beer that's vanilla heavy, or you got root beer that's some sort of birch heavy, or whatever that may be.
Yeah, what would you call this root beer?
This is definitely, so I always describe it, it's a Coney Island style root beer. It's not overly sweet. It's fairly creamy. And it's all natural cane sugar, no caffeine.
Yeah.
And so, it's a boardwalk root beer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Boardwalk root beer.
Yeah.
And just in time for 4th of July, honestly. So if you're going to get yourself a Coney dog, you wash it down with a Boardwalk root beer. Boom. And then you're just like Joey Chestnut, who did announce he's going to participate in this year's hot dog eating contest. So that's just a side information I like to give out to people. Now, you're a distillery as well, right? So you're distilling your own rum, and now you're working into whiskey. Let me pitch you a couple bad ideas. All right, so say we got Chef Anthony in studio. He's the Iron Chef champion. His specialty is a sushi chef, right? Now, whiskey's all about getting the flavor profiles from the wood barrels and stuff. Sure. Would you ever age any kind of tuna in there and then try to do like a tuna-inspired whiskey? How bad of an idea is that?
How bad of an idea is that? We talking like raw tuna, or we talking some?
Chef Anthony, what would you recommend?
It would
for
probably have to be like bonito flake or
Yeah,
something
okay.
like that.
That's
We're
what I
not
was
just
thinking.
throwing a.
I don't think people are going
boil
to stick
tuna.
around for the shows if we just got raw tuna sitting in the
Yeah,
barrel.
chilling
If we do put the
back,
barrels
you know.
on the floor, it could be problematic with
Look, are
115
you guys
degree
making
weather.
fish sauce or making beer?
I'm down to try
Whiskey.
it though.
Right.
We can see
Yeah.
as long as
I
we
think-
can put Oban on it, and
We-
that way we can just say it's your fault.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe more of a nori infusion would work.
Yeah,
Oh.
possibly.
The tuna, I don't know.
Tuna,
Okay, maybe not
Might be a
tuna.
bad
We
idea.
did get this weird. We had a rep come in with some beers from Japan. There's an oyster beer.
Okay.
It was rough.
Oh, it was rough and
It
stuff
was
to get
terrible.
down. Did it taste like oyster sauce
It-
then?
Not
It tastes like raw
It
oyster.
tasted like bubbly ocean water.
Oh.
That was like fermented.
Yeah, you know,
So it was
yeah.
definitely not good. It was
Okay.
not whatsoever.
I-
We were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be dope if we can run this at the sushi bar. I was excited. I'm like, oh yeah, I could sell this to somebody. And then I drank it and I was like, this is not coming in. Don't even
No
try it. Don't nobody else try it. Just throw it away.
Yeah, it's like clam
It
urine.
sounded like
Yeah,
it was
that's
rough.
that
It
does
was
sound
rough,
rough.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, well, you guys again. So this is creative minds are kind of putting together when you guys are either being a chef or you're being a brewer, right? So you always are kind of throwing together recipes. Do you ever try to take a swing so big and fail so miserably where you're like, I can't, like an oyster beer type scenario?
So I had the pleasure of learning how to brew under Steve Tracy, who's been doing this since 1997,
And he's
so
the,
I fell into a lot of
Creator and owner of Thunder
Thunder
Canyon.
Canyon,
Yeah.
previously.
Yeah.
So he was my mentor and who taught me how to brew. And so not only did I get to learn a lot from him, but I also have this Rolodex of hundreds and hundreds of beers that all fell into a pocket, and a pocket of good drinkability or a pocket of good creativity. And so I have this playbook that I've been able to go back and kind of pull from. And so I've been able to confidently take a recipe in my head and say, this is what I want, and go look at other recipes and say, I know that this works. I know that that works. I know that this works. And I think they'll all do really well together.
Yeah.
And so every time I've been able to put something together, and within the first 5 or so tries, we kind of solidified our all Arizona grain lineup.
Yeah.
And so we've found our 5 flagship beers pretty quickly based on a huge span of time of consistency and success.
Yeah.
Steve with Thunder Canyon.
I love
So-
that.
You definitely, if you want to see us swing and miss though, just come in any day, and I'm probably bartending, and I'll be swinging and missing. the entire time.
Yeah. Well, when in doubt, just make it strong, right? So yeah, you just, so Brickbox is, and what's the name of the brew line then? Is it just Brickbox Brewery? Okay.
Brickbox beers.
So yeah, they pride themselves being all Arizona based when it comes to the ingredients and everything. It's all Arizona grains, just Arizona all over the place, which is great. And obviously something that you don't get anywhere else, especially outside of this state. So which one on the menu right now would you consider your baby?
The Pale Ale, 100%. Pale Ale was not only our first recipe that we released, but it's also what I consider our flagship beer. It's one of our highest selling beers. It's one of the first ones we want to put in the can. It's the one I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
I'm proud of all of them, but that was my first one, and for it to come out and get great reception, that's my girl.
All right, the Pale Ale.
100%.
See, I pride myself in kind of putting together date nights for people who are listening and stuff. So say you start off the night, you stop by Brickbox, you get yourself a couple Pale Ales, work a buzz, and you get your appetite up. And then you go over to Oban and you want to grub. But what am I ordering at Oban after I get a couple Pale Ales, Chef Anthony?
I mean, depending on the weather outside, it's kind of crazy that
Shellfish right now is not in style, right? Like oysters and clams. I saw, what was it? Kingfisher was like, we're not messing with that right now because I've heard the summer months you want to kind of avoid it anyways, right?
yeah, but nobody's getting local oysters.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If the oysters are coming from somewhere where it's not our summer.
Okay. So
it
they're
should
not,
be, like if it's not summer in Japan.
it's not Baja, California oysters.
yeah.
Okay.
Like there's like some weird saying with months that end with Y. you're not
Yes.
supposed to
Something like
get
that.
them from certain places. But I mean, we have all the produce in a grocery store. It doesn't mean it's all coming from the same location. You know what I mean? They're pulling from wherever the prime is
Yeah.
in that state, country, whatever. They're pulling from there.
Okay.
So to not eat oysters completely during these months is kind of naive.
All right.
Because there's definitely oysters coming from all over the world.
Okay, so
still
and
accessible.
so when you get your oysters in at Obon, you know exactly where they're coming from, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely where they're coming from. But I mean, to go back on like what to come in, it's funny that it's 109 outside, and you would think nobody's eating ramen, but people will still come in and eat ramen.
Yeah.
I went to Hot Pot the other night at Potwell. It was 100 degrees outside. I still went to Hot Pot, and I was sweating my ass off, and that was
it's still delicious.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you added the chili sauce or whatever to spice it up. Yeah.
Like almost makes you hallucinate. It's that hot.
It's
a fine line
for soup year round.
Yeah,
year round.
Oh, I mean, I drink my iced coffee year round too, as cold as it gets. I don't care. Yeah,
I can't drink hot coffee.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, I know.
But ramens, I mean, we do have some menu items that were, I mean, not new now because they released a couple, like 6 months ago. But crispy trios, that was the thing that I told you about last time.
Crispy trios,
and omakase on a hot summer day is definitely.
Yeah, omakase. That's the word of the day every time the Chef Anthony comes around. You got to remember omakase because then first off, you're gonna look like you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
But you sit down at the sushi bar and you tell the chef omakase, right? And it's basically like fixins of the chef's pickings, right?
Yeah.
It's
us putting together a song.
The best. Yeah. It was a good song. I went there on a date who had too many dietary restrictions. I kind of messed it up, but it was more omakase for me. Right? Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do a bunch of dope stuff. And then she said her allergies. And I was like, I'm going to do a bunch of dope stuff for him.
Yeah, exactly. And a side of brown rice for her, for the lady. There you go.
I've definitely had a date and took her to Rocco's and found out she was lactose intolerant.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's all they serve here is cheese. I should probably leave.
No, I did the same fine Italian restaurant with the chef, and where he was going to take care of everything. And I'm the type where, like, if I meet the chef, I get to know the chef. I'm like, whatever you make, I'm going to eat, right? I'm going to love. So whatever you pick. And they get excited about that, right? You're like, cool, I'm going to show you what I got. And I did this, and it was on date. And then he's like all lit up and he's ready to go. And then she goes, but gluten-free, please. And you saw the pain in both of our eyes. The joy just all evaporated. We're like, oh, this is going to suck, isn't it?
He was more upset than you probably.
We were equally upset.
Right.
Yeah. And it took everything in my power not to break up with her before dessert. You know what I mean?
Look, I got to leave. This isn't working.
I'd rather. All right. Well, anyways. All right. So we're going to keep the conversation on the podcast broadcast. Join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. When we return, of course, Brickbox is a music venue as well. The most artist-friendly music venue in all of Southern Arizona. And I state that as a fact. We're going to talk about some cool upcoming shows that Brickbox has coming and how you could book a show there as well. So stick around or join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Clear. Yeah, I mean, I'm still friends with her, but definitely ain't going out to eat. Oh yeah, it's bad. I felt bad. So yeah, next time, and I do this every time. It's just a sucker, and I don't think I don't have the luck of ever dating anyone that doesn't have too many dietary restrictions or whatever.
I bartended at this bar, and it was like a really nice restaurant, like $25 plates, lots of small stuff. It's really easy to rack up a bill. And this lady would come in, she had her index card, which is really great because when you got a lot of allergies and you're trying to relay stuff, you're trying to not kill somebody. It's nice to just be able to take the card and walk back and give it to the pass and let chef figure it out.
Right.
But every time I'd come walking back like that, you just see everybody's heads drop. It's like, oh shit, we got to squeeze in a bunch of stuff. We got to change everything.
Right. Yeah. We're slammed back here. We're in the weeds, and now we got to come up with a custom recipe for the person who can't eat food.
Right. Or stuff that's on the death list, and so they're like, "Oh, this is all touch that." So I got to go get new stuff. I got to get new knives. I got to get a new board. I got to get a new pan. All that stuff.
That's exactly. Shellfish allergy is my biggest pet peeve.
When they come into a sushi place,
they're coming in the middle of happy hour when I've got a full rail of tickets, and it's just 4 stations of guys just getting it, and then I gotta shut one guy down to go grab everything to make sure. We've never had a cross contamination, so I
pride
really
yourself
happy
on
about that.
Yeah,
but like it drives me crazy.
Oh, I'd be furious.
Need you to stop everything you're doing right now.
Avocado allergy and shellfish, because that's exactly what's on my board all day.
Would you say like once a month or like?
No, I'm
More than
talking
that?
like yesterday we had everybody that was an avocado allergy. I don't know what it is. But it was
Avocado?
gluten-free and avocado allergy was everything yesterday. But
that's
it's usually it's like 3 tables a shift, depending.
Wow, every day.
But we do have these regulars that like to sit at the sushi bar with the shellfish allergy.
People start getting allergic to salmon.
It's like, yo, this is risky.
You're in the danger zone.
This is literally the riskiest spot to sit at.
You're being suicidal.
And they'll look at you the entire time. We're completely busy. Their food could be on like 20 minutes, and they're just staring. And I'm like, ma'am, you don't realize I literally had to reset an entire station for your 4 rolls.
Yeah.
Like
with no avocado in them.
Yeah.
It's And then you know what? Then just order sashimi.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
make it
there's
super
other things
easy.
that- yeah.
If you're allergic to it, then I'm just gonna give you slabs of fish, bitch.
usually
Enjoy
people-
it.
Yeah.
You know, like what? Like make it.
And usually people will order the thing with shellfish in it.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
"Oh, build your own roll," and then I'm all about hospitality, but there's definitely a certain point like where we should be able to say no.
It stops bringing hospitality at some point.
Yeah,
I had a
like-
lady yesterday explain to me what ice water was.
Wow.
And she's, I'm a bartender by trade.
Yeah.
And she tells me I wanted a glass of ice and some water. And I'm like, those are 2 different things. So do you want a glass of ice and a glass of water? I said, no, I want water and ice together. It's called ice water. Do you know what that is? And I remember thinking like,
I do, and it's $10 on the menu. You know,
As a matter of fact, for you, it's $50 today.
the greatest thing that ever happened to me was buying the spot, because now that whole like I got to take care of you thing is absolutely gone. And it's so wonderful to be like, oh, I think maybe we're not the space for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to go down the street or anywhere. There's a lot of great places to eat. Maybe go to Oban and order no shellfish. But I'm not doing that today.
Yeah, I can't wait till I'm an owner, because that's
You're on
like,
your way, buddy. There'll be a good moment where you can do that.
Yeah. And then you guys can send each other
Sometimes
Karens.
I'm like,
That'd be
oh,
so
yeah.
great.
yeah.
Or Karen exchange.
You know who
Just
has
the
great
best.
ice
Tell
water?
myself what's up.
Oban. Yeah.
The best. They put it together. Yeah. But no, I mean, as a bartender, that's the right call too, because I mean, I have relatives and stuff that will say water, no ice, and be very particular on it, right? And so you get that all the time.
I work in specifics, man, and it's much easier to explain that from a hospitality standpoint, to go, this is what you asked for. I always tell people that work for me, you'll know when I'm upset because I start over explaining things.
Right.
So I'll be like, okay, some guy's like waving his glass, like I need a beer. I'm like, cool. I'm going to take this glass. I'm going to walk 5 steps over there. I'm going to pour you a full glass of cold beer. I'll bring it right back as soon as I can, and I'm going to stop everything I'm doing to do it.
Yeah.
Usually within 10 seconds of saying that, they're like, you're being condescending. And that's my battle is to be like, am I being condescending, or am I explaining to you every step of what I'm going to do so that you feel comfortable? Because obviously you don't.
Yeah, and next time bring your service bell instead of waving the glass so we can hear it from across the room.
Please.
Right. I do have to shout out DJ Looney's on the stream.
Your girlfriend's favorite DJ, DJ Looney.
Oh, you got the sound ready.
Yeah, I gotta show Looney some love and stuff. He did say he does yell at me a lot when I DJ, but that's
I do just want to say about Looney, he's one of the hardest working, most giving DJs at our spot. I see him go above and beyond a lot of the time, and I know for sure he's not being compensated for the amount of work he's doing. We always keep that tab open for him, and we do appreciate him greatly at Brickbox.
Yeah, he works hard. And, he's our official DJ. He's Stack Styles' official DJ. He'll be working Rialto this Saturday for WrestleMania that we'll be out at. We got a big rock local event that's happening at Rialto, so we'll probably see you as a pregame or postgame on Saturday night for sure. We got a lot of things coming up, and then we want to talk about shows and stuff. About 15 seconds. So if you got shows off the top of your head, does Marley B work at your spot too, or just a boy?
Everybody involved in the community works at my spot at some point.
Yeah. I like that too.
If you're there, you'll see them grabbing glasses or hopping by in the bar to help out. It's very community based. Show wise, we got a ton of stuff this weekend. Tucson Mixer today. We've got Nerd Night on Thursday, I believe. And then we got some bands this week. And Top Notch is playing on Friday. We have a lot of stuff. Just tune in our Instagram. We're always posting flyers. Pike keeps up to date on that. Booking with us is easy. Go to the website, just click booking, and then fill out the form.
Huh?
Yeah, we answer all your questions online. Don't message me and ask me what do I do and do you have a projector or whatever. We answer all that online. We tell you everything we got. We're free to play. If you do a door, you keep 100%. If you do a free show, you take 10% of our sales. We make $1,000. You make 100. We feed you and get you drunk.
There you go.
We don't charge you.
That's so good too. Is it first come first serve when it comes to booking, or do you have to, kind of like a cherry pick? Let's say if there's several people on the same date.
We're usually booked out pretty far. We have a calendar. Grateful as I am, Pike has organized all that so you can look at the calendar, see what dates are available, and then pick one of those to book. We're open to booking everybody. If there is a conflict in booking, it's because we're in negotiations with something that hasn't been listed yet.
Right.
But we let everybody in. The only thing we don't deal with is hate speech and harming people. And outside of that, we're there for it.
Yeah. So. As far as genres of music, it's all over the place. I've already seen several different genres just in that house alone. So yeah, it's a very friendly stage when it comes to that. And a great sounding room too. Yeah. And so, you're booked out. We're going to go through the booking process on the website because I got your website pulled up on the podcast broadcast here, which is brickboxbrewery.com if you're interested and I have some shows coming up. And make sure there's some bangers too, you know what I mean? You can do your band practice any given day of the week, but when you're ready to kind of make an event and bring some people out and have a good time, that's when you're going to bring it to Brickbox Brewery. Are you booking national acts there yet?
Yeah, we have tons of stuff coming through. We got Blueprint coming through in a couple of months. We just had Pigeon John and AWOL 1. We have tons of stuff coming through. We're basically the 200 below venue downtown. So if you're a smaller touring act, you're going to go through us. Everything else is a little bit too big. So
yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, I look at the room as I'm surprised it's 200 below, dude, because it does seem like a larger room as well, almost comparable to 191 Tool in capacity. But I also can tell that, like I said, for 20 or 200, it's going to look like a jam-packed crowd in front of that stage, the way that the room is set up, which is amazing. Now, your summer hours, you open up at 4:00?
So we are open. You can check our website. It's got our times. Katsu House is open for lunch, which we do serve some drinks at that point too. But we're pretty much 4 p.m. every day, except for Saturday and Sunday when we open at noon. And we go into the evening. Of course, we're in the summer. So if it's dead, I'm going to go home. But, if you guys are there drinking, like there was a show at Rialto last Sunday. So we had some business then. We keep going. If we have a show, we usually go until about midnight. But all that information's on our website, Google, all that.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe I could try to get my my buddy's Congos there in October. I don't know if you're already booked up in October and stuff, but we're talking about trying to do something special. So I'll see if I can't book it online on our podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. And we're going to wrap things up with the beef tip right after these words and maybe music from Tool on Rock 1 2.1, or you can join us youtube.com/beefvegan. It's the podcast broadcast. Clear. All right. So that's how we do. Bounce and forth. Well, we were on the air during that time. Yeah, and thanks for not saying fuckity.
Yeah. Following it with shit.
Yeah. Fuck shit, fuck. We're already about 52 minutes into the podcast, so they can't shadow ban us now, bitch. Yeah. Let's see. Cruz Ocho shouting it out. Yeah, Cruz is on the stream as well. We got some some homies there popping in, showing love. Peculiar Chic is on there as well. So shout out to everyone checking out the podcast if not for the first time. Let's watch your mission statement here. Look at this.
This is our opening video. We still need to update this.
Yeah, let's see what you got in your opening video and stuff.
Just a little home video time.
Yeah.
You were so young back then.
I know. Look at this.
How many takes did it take you to do this?
Quite a few. I definitely went into it. I've done videos and stuff before, and I was all confident about getting into it.
Yeah.
And I was the one that was just constant. Do it again. I was so nervous.
Versions with notes in front of us and like, get rid of the fucking notes. Stop looking at stuff. Quit trying to read.
You got freestyle. It's time to freestyle. Yeah. All right, let's check it out.
Hey guys, Jim here, and I'm Nixon. We're super excited to announce the opening of Brickbox Brewery May 1st. With being with Thunder Canyon over 15 years, I've had a lot of time and experience learning kind of what we want to provide to people. And this is an opportunity for us to step forward and show you what we got as a new brand. And we're super excited about it. We got a lot of things working, new food ideas, new beverage ideas. Nixon can tell you a little bit about that.
It's been an honor the last couple of years learning under Steve Tracy, learning craft beer, craft beverages, and spirits as well. We're going to carry on a lot of those recipes you've come to know and love, in addition to a lot of really neat things coming out here in the near future.
So come down May 1st and join us at Brickbox Brewery for our opening day. Here's to all the years with Thunder Canyon and to many more with Brickbox Brewery. Cheers.
Cheers.
It looks like a 90s training video.
It does.
Welcome to Blockbuster.
And so you guys I love it though. That's good. It's ways to get the word out. And how was your opening weekend and stuff? You have a good party and stuff?
Oh, it was great. Everything went down. The internet stopped working. I was running cards on my phone. It's what an opening goes like. I'm sure you understand. Yeah. Everything that can and will go wrong goes wrong.
Pure chaos, and everybody fucking loved it.
We opened our doors we literally opened our doors with $40 in our business bank account.
Oh, wow.
So it was like me and this guy threw everything into it, and it was a moment of, okay, either this works or it doesn't.
Right.
And we're watching these sales go up. We're like, cool, now we got $200 to buy stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the internet goes down, and everybody's in the building, and we're like, what are we going to do? So I was just running around with my phone, charging people, thank goodness Square works, mobilely. But, man. It was great. It was, the community came out. It was absolutely amazing. We were very blessed. Tons of support. So it was a really cool day.
Great show. It was a multi-genre show, which is always fun, just because we do have so many different genres of artists that come through that are also kind of staples within those genres. So we were able to put together like a heavy hitter with a good rock band with Valley Fever and BC being there, and it was just
give mini festival vibes. Which I love as well. That's great. Let's see. We'll pull this up again. So if I was to book. So we're going to go up to events.
Yeah.
And go to booking. All right. And then right there, it's in black and white, which is fantastic. It's just literally letting you know the best deal for an artist in town. Offer a 10% payout from the bar sales, including food during the performance if you're doing a free show. For ticketed shows, you don't even have to pay for the sound.
Nope.
Right? 100% of the ticket sales with no bar payout or tab goes to you. That means you're going to buy your own beers or bring your own whatever.
Yeah, you're making your own money, so you can buy your own beers.
Yeah. And I think 100% fair.
Yeah.
I know that usually when it comes to drink tickets and stuff, as you're an artist and stuff, and a lot of times that's pretty much all you're getting paid on, right?
Yeah.
Everything else you're getting screwed. So at least you want to do is, if you're going to get screwed, be drunk while you get screwed. That's
back to earlier.
Yeah. It all makes sense, dude. But yeah, so to see this and from an artist perspective is amazing. All shows 21 and up, so not necessarily all ages shows. They say if you're charging other acts to perform, which we discourage.
Yes.
So you're thinking like pay for play
we're not
battle the
big
band
on.
Shit, stuff like that.
If you do pay to play, I'm going to get mine first. That's just how it works.
Right.
So.
A 75% deposit from the promoter is required. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're artist friendly. We're not promoter friendly.
Yeah.
And we don't. I've had that before. Where I've had to take somebody outside and explain to them how this is going to work. And you've made a choice. You've read everything. But I'm going to get my money first before we do anything else.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to, we turn stuff off if I don't get paid. So you should have went the free route, and you shouldn't be charging artists to play. Also, really quick PSA, any artist out there in Tucson, rap, metal, any of that, you should not be paying a promoter to be on stage. You're the act, you're the talent. You should be getting paid to be on stage, whether that's $1 or $200.
Right.
Anyone that does pay to play or charges acts to play, we strongly discourage. And I did music for 20 some years, never paid once to play a show.
Yeah.
And I played everywhere from the Rialto to 191, all those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're very much against that. And we make it part of our mission to change that, and we want to give a place where people don't get taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's good. There's too many snakes in this industry for many years, and a lot of times it's disguised as like a battle of the bands type deal, right? And in that situation, I hate as well, because it's like you got to bring at least 20 people to pay, blah 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 blah, and promoter pockets all the money. A lot of shady practices out there, and unfortunately, it's the newer bands that can't recognize it and spot it. But the fact that as a venue, you're protecting the artists from these type of leeches is commendable. So, I mean, all the reasons why we're like, we got to have you in, talk it up, because you guys are doing everything right. It's super, I'm happy to be able to celebrate it and spotlight it. And I wish you continued growth and success. I really think that you guys got the formula down pat. And I think that's pretty good. So, yeah. And the goddamn promoters. You ever been screwed over so hard by a promoter that you're just like, if I ever see that guy on the street, I'll bump into him hard?
No, never. I've never raised my hand at another person. None of that's ever happened.
No.
Are your boys with Nate No Face, right?
Oh, yeah. Nate No Face is, he has production on one of my early albums called Self-Help. I grew up going to Rosie's Hip Hop Shop, and he was there behind the counter and let us play on his SP. I've been a big fan of him and Zachy, his older brother, for sure.
Yeah, it's great to see your friends, make it to that next level. I mean, Nate is approaching 50 fast and is just now emerging as a brand new artist, on a global scale, thanks to Limp Bizkit and putting him on. And it's been great. I was just watching an interview that he did yesterday with Alternative Press.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lots of love. And he always shows love for Tucson and stuff.
He's such an example of focus. Like whatever, I saw him at a point when he was, interested, and then they started breaking into like this 8-bit kind of sound that they were doing.
Yeah.
But watching him just like zero in, he was like, this is what I'm going to do. And he spent years and years perfecting that.
Right.
So to see that pay off later on is, like you said, it's such a encouraging thing. No matter where you're at in your life, you can stop, focus, and make something happen. So.
Absolutely. And I think he said something in that little clip that I was watching and I shared yesterday that was profound that every artist should think of, because you can get hung up on the age, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, no, stay focused on what your passion is. Keep working at it every single day, right? And when it happens, right? You don't know when it's going to happen. Some people, it happens way too soon. Yeah. But there is no too late. If you keep pursuing and, moving forward, whether it's baby steps or whatever, as long as that direction is going forward, then eventually you're going to reach your goals and destinations. And he is a prime example of that. And it's great to see him represent Tucson on such a massive scale. Now, if we can get Limp Bizkit to play Keno, we're only like
you gotta make a call.
50,000. Fuck that! They're charging like $5 million for a headlining show right now. Dude.
You get it together. Seem like a guy that can raise money.
I can't find a promoter in the tri-state area that's willing to take that on. Trust me, I've been trying to bring back KFMA Day since day one. Yeah. It's been an uphill battle. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for the show, but I want to remind you, our Iron Chef finale is going down July 25th. Ooh. Chef Anthony Drumgool from Oban is going to be defending his crown against Chef Mackenzie. You can get your ticket information and join us and grub along the way. The event is going to be at Desert Diamond Casino Sayurita, but get your tickets today and information at kfma.com, right? And then before that, go see Chef Anthony at Oban.
Yes.
And ask for a Zugu. Is he a Zugu?
A car?
Ask for a Runty.
We're not giving out free cars. Don't throw that on there.
I'd like to thank Runtski and Nixon and Pike for coming in from Brickbox Brewery. You can check them out online. And if you're an aspiring artist and you want to play a show, brickboxbrewery.com. There you can find information about all the businesses that are operating out of there and their operation hours. First time on the show, guys, but won't be the last time. It was great hanging out with you. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue to give away tickets for Primus. Till then, Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. I like how you nod your head like, yes, Robin is her name. Sorry, Robin. At least I didn't call you Runty.
If I get one Runty this week, it's your fault.
I know.